Howdy, folks. I'm iridescent irises, impatiently instigating irate icicles.
I'm Amber.
And here are more irate icicles for us to instigate. I don't really know why we're doing that.
Because we can.
Because we can.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. When I was going to give you the tongue twisters, I realized I forgot to finish that one, so I just tacked on 2 words at the end.
Oh, okay. Now I guess that makes sense why it doesn't make sense. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for breaking up with my boyfriend because he left my 8-year-old son at home as a punishment? This is a tough one, as I can't tell if my mama bear instincts are simply taking over. But something is telling me to run for the hills, and literally everyone is telling me that I am the one in the wrong here. I have been with my boyfriend for 3 years. I have an 8-year-old son and a 12-year-old son. He has an 11-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. We just introduced all of the kids about a year ago, and in the more recent months, we have been doing weekend stays at my place. Back a couple of weeks ago, we planned to go to a water park today, and with all of the kids. We told all of the kids, and they were very excited to go. I had to work for a couple of hours early this morning, so the plan was for my boyfriend to drive all of the kids to the water park at noon, and I would meet up with them at that time. I get to the water park at noon, as planned, and he only has 3 of the kids with him. My 8-year-old was not with him. I started freaking out and asking where my son was, and he tells me that my son apparently wouldn't take care of his laundry that I did last night, so he decided that since he refused to listen to him and refused to take care of his clothes, that he would not be attending the water park because he considered it a treat and my son did not earn it. He tells me that my mother has my son, she lives with me, and she's elderly. I admittedly tell my older son to get into my car. My boyfriend asks me what I'm doing, and I say that I'm going to go get my kid, and that he absolutely was in the wrong for thinking that he has any right to punish my child. I didn't tell my son to put his clothes away, so I asked him why he thinks that he has the right to go on a power trip, and step in to tell my child to do anything without first discussing it with me. He starts getting irritated and tells me that I shouldn't expect him to jump on board if he has no say on how the kids are raised, and that it's important for the kids to see us working together as a team and being on the same page in form of punishments so that hostiles or resentful environments aren't created. And once again told me that my son did not earn the right to the water park, and if him and I had already made a plan, then my son should have stepped in and said something about that. I told him that he wasn't welcome back at my house, and we were done. I then drove home, picked up all of the items that he and his children had at my home, and then I left them at the end of the driveway, and I told him to come and collect it before people think that it's free. I locked the doors, and I told my mother not to let him in, and I took off with my children to go to a separate water park. He is blowing up my phone at this point because I'm apparently being ignorant and ruining my son by making him entitled and not making him earn his way. Am I the jerk here? Alright, folks, what do you think?
No, not this jerk. This whole thing about we need to present a united front. He at no point consulted you to create this united front.
Yeah.
The united front needs 2 people actively working together. His whole plan was, I'm going to go behind OP's back, assert my dominance, and then try to pull this united front bit to force her into submission.
Yeah, unilateral decisions is not a united front make, right? He made a decision without consulting OP first, and they didn't actually have the expectation of a united front or whatever. I mean, it's certainly like in a relationship you expect that you're going to work together with your partner, but it doesn't sound like they talked about how the kids would even be punished or disciplined by one parent or the other. And they aren't actually living at OP's house. They're visiting for the weekends.
Right, so he's just trying to set these demands, and it sounds like OP has a phone on her. He could have at any point been like, hey, is it okay if I ask the kids to put away the laundry?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, your son isn't putting away the laundry. Is it okay if we don't take him to the park?
Yeah.
No, he probably knew that wouldn't fly. He decided to just go ahead and do it anyway, and again, try and force OP to go along with him.
Yeah.
I think he's shown right there what kind of a parent he would be. He would be domineering and make his own decisions, and OP would just be expected to go along.
Well, and then also being like, well, your son should have spoke up. Well, doesn't that kind of show that the son isn't as entitled and whatnot as he's trying to paint the kid? Because if the kid was like, unable to like respond in a way. They were like too shy to actually speak out, and just were like, oh, okay, fine, I'll take this punishment. Kind of shows you that they weren't like being as obnoxious or whatnot as it sounds like the father was making it seem like, or the OP's ex was making it seem like.
Yeah, probably the son was just very baffled
Yeah.
by the whole situation.
But I really think that he should have called OP up first to discuss this before setting any punishment into place. Because that's what parents do. They work together and they come up with punishments together. They don't make unilateral decisions, right?
Now, the only place where I think OP was in the wrong was just throwing their stuff onto the lawn. I mean, probably they should have arranged a pickup time so that he could pick up his stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I definitely don't think she's in the wrong for breaking up with him.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And EmuDew9390 says, not the jerk. How are you even supposed to be on the same page about something if he didn't even bother to inform you of it? Nope, he grossly overstepped and now he's insulting your parenting. And Gimme Tots123 says, grossly overstepped. I'm on board with OP. Thank you for putting your kids first. This was a punishment, not a consequence. And it certainly didn't fit the offense. What's an appropriate consequence to not putting laundry away? I tell you what I did with my kids. I took them through the whole laundry process on a Friday night, start to finish several loads. We didn't let it slide by. I explained that laundry is not hard, it's just annoying. When they don't put their laundry away, and then they decide that it's better to put in the dirty clothes for me to handle, it creates all this work for me. But moving forward, if this continues, it will become their job entirely. Jumping the gun and taking away a family fun day for not putting away laundry one time? That's a really extreme and abusive thing to isolate a child for being a child. This was a power move made by your now ex-boyfriend, and he failed big time. At least showed who he is now. And you showed your kids who you are. That's more valuable than you can ever know. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Today I Messed Up by Discovering Why My Husband Loves My Cooking. So this happened yesterday, and I'm still trying to process it. My husband, a 31-year-old male, we'll call him John, and I, a 29-year-old female, have been married for 5 years. We have a pretty solid relationship, and he's a great guy. I've always loved cooking. My mom taught me when I was young, and I've enjoyed experimenting in the kitchen and cooking for John. I cook maybe 50% of our meals. We do take out frequently. John has always liked my meals and has eaten everything that I've cooked. And I don't consider myself an amazing cook, but I'm pretty good. And it's healthier than takeout anyways. Yesterday, I come home from work early because I wasn't feeling well, and I noticed a strange smell coming from our backyard. John works from home, so I knew that he was home, and I thought that maybe he was burning some candles or something. But as I get closer, I realized that it definitely was not a candle. It was weed. I walked in, and he's just there, lounging in the back porch, with a joint in his hand. He was really surprised to see me. I was shocked, and I had no idea that he smoked. We talked about weed a few times, but I didn't have a problem with it, and he never mentioned that he used it. I asked what was going on, and he just stared at me like a deer caught in headlights. After a few minutes of awkward silence, he finally admitted the truth. He's been using weed to get the munchies so that he could eat my cooking. Apparently, he hates my food, but he didn't want to hurt my feelings. So, every evening before dinner, he sneaks off to our backyard, takes a few hits, and then he comes in ready to devour whatever I've made. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. On one hand, I was hurt that he didn't feel that he could be honest with me. On the other, I thought it was kind of funny in a messed up way. I mean, who does that? My husband, I guess. It just feels so drastic. What happened to the normal technique to get around not liking someone's food, like hiding it under your napkin? How does someone not like something cooked and in their mind goes to substances like this? I can't even imagine his thought process. I don't know if I'm even mad at him. He only had the best intentions. It's just so weird of a situation. We ended up having a long conversation about it. He apologized for not telling me sooner and admitted that he should have been honest from the start. I apologized for not noticing sooner, and I told him that I would work on my cooking skills. And in the meantime, we would eat more takeout and go to restaurants. I was thinking about offering to cook together. He's never shown much interest in that, but maybe he will now. All right, folks, what do you think?
Oof, this is a tricky situation. I mean, I think maybe cooking together might be a good option, because then like it may not even be so much OP's cooking itself. There may be certain seasonings or whatnot that he has a particular distaste to, and if he can help control the amount that goes in and whatnot, it might work out better.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is really one of those situations where I think he had the best intentions because he didn't want to hurt OP's feelings, and he came up with a solution that I think he thought was going to be fine for the long term, right? Like, he just uses these and he probably enjoys it anyways. I mean, I imagine that this is only part of the reason why he imbibes, and I think that he probably just is not interested in hurting her feelings, and he has like an avoidance type personality where he doesn't want to actually confront what the actual issue is. So maybe therapy and counseling to kind of help him work through some of these avoidant personality traits.
Well, and the thing is, like, if you don't like someone's food, I wonder how many meals he tried before he went straight to this option too. Like, if he just had a couple, sometimes it takes people time to, adapt their cooking. And if you don't give them any feedback, like, certainly you shouldn't be, like, trashing someone's cooking to their face.
Yeah.
But sometimes meals are just a miss, and you can let your partner know, oh, well, this spice is a little bit much for me, or something like that.
Yeah.
As long as he's not doing it all the time, then maybe she could create meals that he likes better, but not giving her any feedback. She just keeps making the same food, assuming it's fine.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem here, is that he just, he kind of took the easy way out and is like, I can live with it. And it means maybe food isn't that important to him. It seems like she has a passion for cooking and she really wants to do a good job of it, and he didn't really want to break that illusion for her, which I think is sweet, but also like, maybe she would learn some new recipes so that he could enjoy the food too. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Changing My Grown Son's Room into a Room for My Granddaughter? I have two kids, Kathy, a 29-year-old female, and Michael, a 25-year-old male. Kathy lives with me, pays a portion of the bills, and has no plans on moving out anytime soon. We have our own business that we operate out of our home. It's easier to have her live here, and it's great because I've helped with the bills, whereas Michael lives about an hour away for work and has his own apartment. For a while, I kept Michael's room as it was. He has shared several times that he has no plans of moving back home, as his job is in the city that he's moved to. Kathy has a very close friend who has a 2-year-old daughter, Zoe. Friend named Kathy as her daughter's godmother, as well as guardian should she pass. Unfortunately, that happened about 6 months ago. Kathy's friend was a single mom, so Kathy was granted custody. At first, Zoe was sharing a room with Kathy as she had extreme separation anxiety. However, she's now ready for her own room. As our home has 3 bedrooms, we don't have anywhere else to put her. When I told Michael what we were doing, I said that I would get a pull-out for the living room, or I could get a day bed for my room when he visits for the holidays. I know rooming with your mom isn't fun, but I wanted to give him some options. He's mad that I gave his room to Zoe. He says that he wants his room. I said I understand, but he doesn't live with me. Kathy does, and she pays bills. She's even paying more now because she feels that she's using more resources with Zoe living with us. I'd feel different if Kathy and Zoe were moving out soon, but they're not. At this point, Kathy plans to adopt Zoe. I want to help her. My mom helped me raise my kids. Her mom helped her. It's in our culture to have a multi-generational household. Moving isn't an option, and I can make the space more private for Michael when he spends the night, like a divider in the living room. But he usually only sleeps here for 2 or 3 times a year, and I just don't feel that's practical. I said if Michael ever needed to move home permanently, we would work something out, and I would also help him with his child if he was in this situation. He says that he doesn't want kids. I said that's fine, but this is the situation at the moment. He feels that Kathy should move out. I said I'm not kicking her out just so that he can have a room a few times a year that he spends the night. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. The audacity of this man to try and make OP, kick out her daughter, so daughter and Zoe don't have anywhere to go, and lose all that, like, help paying the bills and everything. Like, you could tell him if he wants to pay what Kathy is currently paying, then, like, you'll keep his room for him and see how he responds. But, not that I'm saying you should actually do that and, like, kick Zoe out. I think you had the right idea here. It's the only feasible solution. But, like, he doesn't seem to understand that they're actually, like, contributing members of the household while he isn't.
Well, I mean, I think that OP is in the wrong here because she should have built a shrine to her son and made sure that it was well stocked with everything that it needs. Like, you need to have that shrine to your son who doesn't live there and then open it up for them when they have their arrival. And I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, I understand having sentimental attachment to your childhood bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little weird the first time I saw that my mom had turned my and my sister's room into her studio. But, like, we are not there that often. It's not like we are going to be using that space. And so while I understand it's a little weird and uncomfortable, he has to think practically and think about people other than himself.
Well, and that's it, right? He is thinking only about himself here. He's not thinking about what it means to everyone else. And I understand his hurt and disappointment, but it's not practical to have the situation that he wants. And he's not contributing rent. He's not contributing anything to the household. I don't see why he thinks that he has any say in this situation. Times change, and sometimes life moves on, and you can't just be upset all the time when things change and you have no control over it, right?
Right. Well, just the sheer entitlement here. Well, he feels I am entitled to a room. My sister and her child are not. They should be kicked out so that I can have this room for like 3 times a year.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure Zoe would love her mother back too.
Well, yeah.
Right? And I mean but we can't always get exactly what we want in these situations, right? We have to make the best with what we have, and I think that he's just being extraordinarily selfish. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, then we have an update. My 36-year-old male husband says that I'm ableist against his autism. I'm a 25-year-old female. Am I ableist? So this one we read the other day. Basically, he had some very particular food things that he wanted done to his food. Like if they ever touched or anything like that, then he would get upset. He couldn't eat it.
Yeah, so there was like a little chunk of tomato that fell on his plate, and he threw both plates, including the one that wasn't like touched, on the ground. And then he told her, with a smile on his face, to make it again.
Yeah. So let's get into this update. Update. I'll keep it long since I'm 90% sure I can do one update. First of all, hello. I just want to say thank you. I didn't expect my post to get this much attention, but everyone has been beyond so sweet to me, and I can't thank everyone enough. I would love to reply, but I'm not the best at replying, and I get too worried if I'm rude or my tone is off. I'll answer some questions, but I'm sorry, Reddit is a bit new to me. People have private messaged me asking me if I'm okay and checking up on me. I'm too shy to respond, but I'm doing a lot better. Anybody who's tried checking in on me, thank you so much. I am so much happier, and I'm making this post somewhat clearing my head in a way. And to the commenters writing out about the age gap, it was kind of on me because I like older guys. When we met, he thought that we were around the same age. Anywho, to the main point of what's going on now. I read as many comments as I could. And if my mind was a fan, there would be garbage all over the place. I've thought back on our whole relationship and I'm so blind. I've known not many partners before Danny, so I thought this was kind of normal. So basically, after reading all of the comments, I went to my eldest brother, Eli, and explained what was going on. Currently, he's letting me stay at his house, so I've just been helping with my nieces, and I call in sick to work. I own the house, and Danny kind of lives with me. The house is small, and he stays Wednesdays through Sundays, and the rest he's with his mom to help her out. So Eli went to my house and packed up all of Danny's things while I worked on filing for divorce. Danny called me in the afternoon, screaming down the phone that I was abusing him and that this was disgusting. I had it on speaker, and my sister-in-law chewed his butt out. I know it's nothing major, but after everything today, and being scared, I'm planning on calling a locksmith to change my locks, and I'm changing my emergency contacts to my siblings. My brother has been so nice to me this past day, and I can't thank him enough. His wife Linda is a dream, and I spent the day playing with the twin girls. As a lot of people have said, he's probably abusive. I have had that fear, too, after reading the comments, so any conversation through his cousin and I were childhood best friends. Right now, all she's told me is that it's been his mom screaming and crying to anybody who will listen. And in case you find this post and you know who you are, Danny, so go away and good riddance. All right, folks, what do you think?
Well, I'm glad that OP was able to get out of a bad situation.
Oh yeah, me too.
I mean, I think this is one of the best values of Reddit, is being able to help people see when their situation isn't okay and find a way to live a happier, healthier life.
Yeah, I really think that is, there are some times when I feel like Reddit doesn't always give the best advice, but I feel in this particular case, people really did a good job with OP, and they treated her very well. And this was clearly an abusive situation, and it's good that she got out when she did. I mean, who knows what other kind of abusive tactics he was using throughout the years. And using this emotional manipulation and guilt of being like, oh, you're being a bad carer, you're being a bad caregiver, and that my emotional state is your responsibility, and any topsy-turvy feelings that I feel are directly because of you. And so I'm just glad that OP has seen that this isn't a healthy relationship, and what his actions are unexcusable. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Bus passenger. Hi, I'm vacationing in your town. Does this bus stop at Elm Street? Second passenger. Yes, it does. Just watch me and get off one stop before I do.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean,
and then Freddy will come for you.
I was going to say, if you're looking for Elm Street, just look for the finger knives.
Yeah, that would make sense. And I have Mega Mint. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, wonderful Wednesday, Friday, Junior's Eve, Hump Day, all of that type of stuff. Yeah, Hump Day, all those things. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it surprising or shocking. Have it shocking.
You're being shocked.
I'm not being shocked. That's your finger, and it's just going buzz.
Alright, well.
Alright.
I'm trying to make this shocking. So don't abuse your partner. Don't manipulate your partner.
So Amber over here is trying to tase me, and she's like, don't abuse your partner. Thank you, Amber. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.